Hi everyone, it's Mr. Rosenberg, and today we are going to be looking at chapter 8, section 1, which is adding and subtracting polynomials. And our objective is going to be to classify, add, and subtract these polynomials. Alright, so let's get started. So first we're going to talk about monomials. Alright, monomials, they're a real number, a variable, or a product of a real number and a variable. So let's take a look at some examples. So here we have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different monomials, right? So 18, that's a monomial because it's a real number, right? 18, a real number, that's a monomial. The second term, z, also a monomial because it's a variable. So z is a variable, that makes it a monomial. And all of the rest of these three, these are products of real numbers and variables, right? And that's that third qualification we have for a monomial, a product of a real number and a variable. So if we take a look, negative 4x squared. Well, negative 4 is a real number, and x squared, well, that's that variable x. Same here, 2.5 is our real number, and we have the variables x and y, which is raised to the second power. They're being all multiplied together. Now here, we have a variable, and we have a real number, right? We could rewrite this. We could rewrite this term as 1/3 times a. So here, once again, we have a product of a real number, 1/3, and a variable a. So now the degree of a monomial, we say, is the sum of exponents of its variables. So if we take a look at, let's say, 5x, right? We want to look at the exponents of its variables. So 5x, remember, whenever you have just a variable, that variable is technically raised to the first power, right? So this is technically 5x to the first power, right? So that first power, that's the only exponent involved. So we'd say the degree of this monomial is 1. Now if we take a look at this monomial right here, we have 6x cubed y squared, right? So going back, we know the degree of a monomial, that's the sum of the exponents of its variables. So we take a look at its variables. We have this x is raised to the third power, so we take that exponent's 3, and this y is raised to the second power. So we have exponents of 3 and 2. So our degree would just be that 3 plus 2, which is 5. So this is monomial is a 5th degree. And next, we just have the number 4. Right? Now this term right here, this 4, there's no variables attached to it. So since there's no variables that go along with it, there's no exponents to go along with that variable. So since there's no variable, no exponents, we just say that the degree of this constant, this 4, is 0.